Now, folks, as we exit this valley here, just look up to your far right-hand side. Not below us, that's the beach of Honopu, but the far right-hand side. And you'll see the long, white sandy beach with black rocks on it. It's the beach of Kalalau. It's where the 11-mile hike, it stops. Now, folks, the trail is an ancient Hawaiian trail. The Hawaiians, they use it during the winter. When the waves out here, they get to be about 30 to 40 feet high. And folks, the biggest valley here on the Napali coast is the Valley of Kalalau. Now, folks, if you was to drive up to the Waimea Canyon Lookout and you went beyond that to the top of the Koke'e State Park, the last lookout is located back here. It's called Pu'uoke'ili Lookout. Elevation is roughly around 4,200 feet. But they say at one time that the Valley of Kalalau was a couple hundred years ago, that it was occupied by almost 5,000 native Hawaiians. Alrighty, folks, right about now, I usually just let the music play and let the scenery do all the talking. But folks, if you have any questions, you feel free to ask. Because if you want, I can always make something up for you guys.
So, Donna, how these shapes are carved? Is that by erosion as well?
Yeah, pretty much everything in Hawaii was carved. Anything in Hawaii was carved by erosion. But out here, the way you get these formations is on this side of the island, during the winter, earlier spring months, you get a lot of heavy storms out here. A lot of rain, really high winds that exceed 60 knots out here. So, you know, you give Mother Nature, you know, a couple million years and she'll do this.
So the peaks in front of us, kind of far, straight about 12 o'clock?
Yeah.
That kind of crescent shape, was that kind of part of the volcano?
No.
Volcanic or just erosion?
Yeah, that's just erosion. Amazing, huh? That's actually Bali High. That's the peak of Makana, but he was using the movie South Pacific as Bali High.
So where exactly is this so-called cathedral?
Oh, the cathedral? Oh, it made the turn right by Kalalau Beach. As well as those vertical peaks that was in front of us. It was given the name by the missionaries, and they looked at those peaks and thought they looked like tops of cathedrals. Yeah, you'll see a lot of rock formations out here that are pretty strange in its way. I mean, start trying to figure out how they were formed by erosion. Alrighty, folks, we're going to jump over this ridge line here, and on the other side is the north shore of Hanalei.
So Dano, all these lands were owned by private individuals or owned
No.
by federal?
There's some land back here that's owned by private individuals, but majority of the interior is owned by the state. It's state forestry conservation land. But there's some land out here. Like back here is there's some land that's owned by Keith Robinson. Oh, this is the Wainiha Valley, by the way. Alrighty, folks, we're going to be crossing over the Hanalei Valley here, or excuse me, Lumahai Valley, and up ahead is the Hanalei Bay. Hanalei, folks, it simply means Crescent Bay. To the left of that is a Princeville area. Big white building down a point is a Princeville St. Regis Resort. Now, at one time, back in the early 1800s, the land that the resort occupies was actually a Russian fort. It was one of two of them on the island. That one there is Fort Alexander, and the other one is located over on the west side in the town of Waimea, Fort Elizabeth.
Dano, did you say Russian fort?
Yeah, Russian.
Russians were here?
Yeah, earlier part of the 1800s. From what they told Kamuali'i, the chief at the time, he told them that, hey, we're going to build these forts out here just to protect our shipping interests. Well, I came to find out maybe a year after that, a year and a half or so, Kamuali'i came to find out that they were trying to take over Kauai. So he kind of gathered all his men together and pretty much chased them off the island. But the forts, they still stand. You can go over there, and they have the St. Regis Resort. They actually have a little pavilion out there, and they show you where the cannon emplacements were and where certain areas like the barracks and stuff like that were. Now, the ponds that you see out here on the left-hand side, these are what they call taro patches. Now, as Hawaiians, we call them kalo lo'is. Now, taro is a plant where the root, a really big starchy root, grows underneath the water here. Pull it out by hand and mash it up into a pasty substance called poi. Yeah, usually you serve it at luau's. Or, folks, as us locals, we all love to joke. We force feed it to tourists at luau's. Because it does have an acquired taste to it, and, well, not a lot of people like it. But it's actually really good for you. The plant itself is 100% edible from the root all the way up to the leaves. So it was actually the main source of the Hawaiians' diet back in the day. Now I'll take you guys back here and show you guys the waterfall Waioli. Big one. This thing was going to be put in a Guinness Book of World Record as the world's tallest waterfall. But it didn't work out because Guinness, with all their wisdom, said that the waterfall would have to be a constant flow of water from the top to the bottom. So back here, folks, is what you would call a step waterfall. And it's starting to dry up just a little bit, not too much though.
I thought there was a waterfall in Venezuela.
That's the world's tallest, yes. That's why it's that one actually is a free fall from the top to the bottom. This one isn't. So that's the whole reason as